ORU going with the home whites here tonight. St. Thomas with the road purple jerseys, always a sharp look here as well. St. Thomas will go right to left to begin things. ORU will go left to right. Second to last home game for ORU this season. They wrap up the home schedule on Thursday against another really good Summit League opponent in the South Dakota State Jackrabbits. But they got a big test right in front of them here with the Tommies from St. Thomas. It's Majok and Minnesali at midcourt to take the jump. A little bit of a height difference there. Majok at 7'3", Minnesali at 6'5". So we'll take a guess who wins this tip-off.
Well, if I'm St. Thomas, I'm gonna go try to steal this thing, see what happens. But immediately, Majok in the game is gonna, should provide some rim protection, and that should cause some problems for St. Thomas at the rim, because they get a lot of those threes because they get in the paint and they put pressure on the rim.
Well, Roberts starts off the basketball game with the basketball. Moore underneath at the block, turns with a right hand, couldn't get it to drop, and a foul underneath. Looks like it's going to go on the Tommies. Kendall Blue picks up the foul, his first and the team's first, as Alajiki was looking for the rebound, and it remains Golden Eagle basketball. So
rebounding is going to clearly be key. St. Thomas is not a pretty good defensive rebounding team. They are not a good offensive rebounding team at all. Alajiki's got to have a big night on the glass.
And it's a good start to a potential big night. He knocks down his first look at three, and it's a 3-0 Golden Eagle lead. This is a St. Thomas team that, Coach, I know you'll like watching. They are so solid from top to bottom. Here's Kendall Blue from the corner, and he responds with a three of his own.
Yeah, great execution out of the gate. Opening play of the game. I think more than anything, what St. Thomas does, Connor, is they get kids that are going to play the style that they want them to play. I think they do a phenomenal job in their recruiting aspect, and they get what's going to work for them.
Miller wanted the lob to Majok, but just a little bit too tall. Here's Minnesali on the other side for St. Thomas. Hands off, there's Bjerke, one of those five men who will shoot it from out there, and he connects on his first look. 140 of his 240 field goal attempts from three coming into tonight, and he knocks down his first look.
Yeah, shoots about 70% of his shots from three, so that's clearly the issue for ORU, is having Majok out there. He got caught behind that screen. Easy shot from Bjerke, cannot be that way, and there he gets outrun.
Good find from Blue inside. Bjerke trying to turn on a taller Majok, but he missed it.
There you go. So now he protects the rim. That may look like a missed opportunity for St. Thomas. But you've got a 7'3" kid there. Those are tough.
Miller wide open for three. Rattles out. Well, the threes are coming from both sides early. A couple of good looks for the Tommies and the Golden Eagles, but it's a 3-point lead for the guys in purple. Dobbs with it. Inside fights contact, but lost it on the way up. Alajiki rips down the loose ball. Here comes McBride and company.
So Dobbs is kind of the head of their snake. If I'm ORU, I want to disrupt him a little bit. I'd show him different looks. I'd blitz him a little bit, even at the risk of that ball getting moving. Because when the ball starts moving for St. Thomas, but you have to disrupt him. You've got to get an earlier hand up.
Bjerke misses the three, and there are a ton of them raining down already. That's 7 attempts combined, and we're not even 3 minutes into the ball game from either side. Bride finds Miller top of the key. Miller will skip into the corner for Alajiki. He'll try it again. Too strong, and the rebound to Blue.
Nice rebound there by Kendall. Kendall just kind of does a little bit of everything. Dobbs does a little bit of everything.
Blue lost into the paint, and Moore comes up with a loose ball.
Good active hands early on by ORU.
Moore coming off of 16 and 7 at Denver. One of the front runners for freshman of the year in the Summit League. Kicks it out for Alajiki, who got trapped. And he'll reset. Gets the screen from Majok. Gets blitzed with 10. Moore fights the contact, kicks it out. McBride thought about it. Now he'll work his way to the free throw line. Shifty as always. McBride a fadeaway. Too strong with a back tap by Majok. Another chance for Mackey. Rims out.
Had a great stunt recover there by Barnstable. Good second opportunity created by Majok.
Minnesali draws the foul on the other side on Jalen Miller. That is his first and the team's first on ORU.
And Isaac's not going to miss too many of those.
We see Jackson Skipper and Luke Ray at the scores table for Oral Roberts. Kind of an interesting situation up in Denver. We only saw Luke Ray for 1 minute, and really his only purpose was to commit fouls. A guy who has started the majority of the games in Summit League play for ORU. But now he's finally back in here early on in the ballgame. Let's see what type of contribution the freshman can provide.
I like Majok's minutes. He caused a miss at the rim. He got a tap back. You know, he did give up the early three to Bjerke.
Now launches the three, but missed it off the bench. And here comes ORU. A lot of threes have gone up, but not a lot of them have gone down here in the early going.
Sure haven't. So there's Alajiki on the defensive glass. He's the best defensive rebounder. He's got to have a big night on the defensive glass, especially considering it's not an emphasis at St. Thomas.
Moore, the pull-up from 15 may have had it partially tipped. Let's see. And it will go back to St. Thomas. So they're going to say it wasn't touched. And that'll send us to the first media timeout of the first half. An up and down start, but not a whole lot of makes on either side. Just a 6-3 lead for St. Thomas over Oral Roberts. We'll be back in a moment. This is Golden Eagle basketball on the ORU Sports Network. The newly renovated Embassy Suites Hotel is an official partner of ORU Athletics. The All Suites Hilton property features made-to-order breakfast and a nightly reception for our guests. All new just for you. Our full-service hotel will take care of ORU fans like no one else. Give them a call at 918-622-4000. A 6-3 St. Thomas lead over the Golden Eagles. 15:51 left to go in this first half. We've seen a lot of threes go up, but not a lot of them come down here in the early going, Coach. What's got to change?
You know, they're getting pretty good looks, I think, both teams. We do have a news flash, though. Ben now took a 2. He takes 85% of his shots from 3, so that's breaking news.
On the other side, Minnesali a 3. That one bounces off the front rim, and another loose ball tracked down by Alajiki, coming off of 11 rebounds in Denver on Wednesday. Right at the head of the key, works his way inside, fights the contact, missed the layup, rebound loose, and it's scooped up by the Tommies. Here comes Dobbs. Extra pass for Minnesali. Kicks it out.
So for the most part, St. Thomas really employs a strategy and a thought process of a 0.5. They make a decision 0.5 seconds after they touch it, whether they're going to shoot it, they're going to pass it, they're going to dribble it and try to make a play. And that ball was popping.
So a lot of quick decision making.
A lot of quick decision making, yes.
Let's see if ORU can get it going on this end of the floor. Only 3 points for him, and now a near turnover, but Miller corrals with 11 on the time. Miller downhill over to McBride with 6. McBride going to create on Dobbs. McBride with 3, kicks it out. Miller forced to launch in the horn. He's got it. His first 3 of the ball game, and we're tied at 6. Jalen Miller right at the shot clock buzzer.
Good D by St. Thomas there. Can't get blown by like that. That's what opens up the threes. As soon as you create help, the ball is just going to be flying, and they're as unselfish of a team as you'll see, and they're going to see these wide open threes all night. You got to guard your own yard. Every single guy out there.
Nice skip pass to the team's leading scorer in Barnstable, who knocks down his first shot. Gray underneath. Inside on Byrie, the backup 5-man for the Tommies. Forced to kick it out for Skipper under 10. He'll launch from 3. Got another one. Back-to-back threes for ORU, and now the long ball starting to drop for either side.
Well, the shooting coaches must have woken up at the timeout, because prior to that, they were nodding off.
I think the message in the huddle was, hey, just make them.
Yeah.
They're listening. Inside, Minnesali missed it, but he got fouled. 2 shots coming up for Nolan Minnesali. And Coach, you and I were talking about him before the game, and in my opinion, I think he's one of the more underrated players in the Summit League. A guy who's a freshman, starts nearly every single game, and is a guy who's averaging double figures.
Yeah, you know, I think he's wiry, he's bouncy, he's active, he plays hard, plays within the system, and he's one of the guys on their team that can put some pressure on the rim for St. Thomas.
Fouls on Luke Ray, by the way. That's his first and the team's second. Alajiki heads to the bench for JoJo Moore. So one more at the line for Nolan Minnesali after he makes the first. It's 10-9 St. Thomas. 13:25 left to go in this first half. Second one, a high arcer, and it takes a friendly bounce. A 2-point lead for the Tommies.
Okay, so default is in the game for St. Thomas. They'll do this a lot out of time, off of free throws, dead balls. They'll get up and pressure a little bit. Little face guard there. So default's an irritant. Like he likes to get under your skin. He plays very physically. He leads them in fouls per 40. He doesn't care. So you got to be careful when he's on the floor because he creates a lot of things defensively, particularly.
Osterman also out there for the first time for the Tommies. 10 to shoot for the Golden Eagles. Skipper, a skip pass to Miller with 6. Lost it momentarily, being harassed by now. Gives it over to Moore. Moore's got a fire with 2. He'll let it fly off the back rim, and the rebound into the hands of Dufault.
St. Thomas really active defensively. Active hands, active feet. Second time they've wound the shot clock down.
Kendall Blue wants to reset up top. Blue 13 and 2 against ORU back up in St. Paul. He's got it underneath. Headed, swatted by Skipper. Here comes McBride. He wants to push.
So they had that screen set for Blue to his strong hand. I think he should have just used that. They flipped the screen, and then he kind of got himself, dribbled a little too far into traffic.
Osterman wants to back in on the smaller McBride. Gets double teamed by Miller. Nicely done by Jalen. They're forced to give it up. Byrie found himself open for a moment. Now gets shut off by Gray. They got to reset.
First we've seen a double team. We're not going to see a lot of post play tonight.
Kendall Blue lets one fly, no good. Back tap to JoJo Moore, and here come the Golden Eagles. Moore pushing ahead, inside the paint, hop step, and he gets fouled. Foul is on the floor, and that'll send us to the under-12 media timeouts. A close one continues here in the early going for the Mabee Center. It's St. Thomas 11 and Oral Roberts 9. Don't go anywhere. This is Golden Eagle basketball on the ORU Sports Network.